No, that's fine. Alright. So we're gonna have a smoke break with the boy. Give me that lighter, hoe. So, pretty much, you should both be in the scene here. Basically, I'll give you a rundown on the smoke break. Um,
Yeah, what is the smoke break?
well, it's like a little video series I kind of do. But, we just talk about news for like a couple minutes for the first half of the SIG. And then
Okay.
we'll just talk about something, health-wise
Okay.
to end it. And then maybe bullshit if there's any time left over.
The news is can be bad for your health. So
Well, you could also talk about mental health.
yeah, probably about the same. So I guess it kind of pans out.
Well,
Then
I usually
kinda-
start with the news, so I guess since you didn't hear too much about the third gender, we can talk about that.
What is the third gender? So
It's
I'm interested.
non-binary. So in California, male, female, and then non-binary.
What is non-binary?
It means that you don't conform to being male or female.
Oh, so it's like an self-identification?
Like you don't identify with either gender.
Huh.
So
is that like? Does that mean like that you don't identify as either gender like sexually or like as a gender?
just kind of both sort of. I mean,
Huh. That's weird.
yeah.
I've never heard of that one because I've heard of like asexual.
Well,
right?
because your sex, I always thought your sex determined what your gender was.
Yeah.
Right, but people are kind of separating that now. For some reason, I don't know exactly why, but that's what it's come down to.
Huh.
In Oregon, actually, the DMV had that option for a while.
No way.
You could put non-binary in Oregon for a while before California. They just passed this like this month.
Really?
Where you can legally be non-binary. Legally.
That's okay. All right.
But no, I don't fully disagree with it, but I just think that, fuck, dude. I think there's just so many more things we could prioritize over stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Like,
I think
that's just so not, to me, I don't think it's that important. Like, oh my god, like now I'm non-binary on a piece of paper. Now my life's complete. That's the way I see it. It's like,
well, I think it's cool. You've come to the right person. I'll give you the rundown. So I've
what
actually.
do you think on it? I guess since you're the.
I've actually had compliments from gays sometimes.
Gays.
On my political correct knowledge regarding the subject matter. I guess so. So you get like two different genders, right? You get male and female, right? Per like your biological like makeup, like what you're born with, right?
Yeah, they would call that your sex.
Yeah. Yeah, your sex, your gender, and then you can also be dual gendered, transvestite.
Yeah.
Where most transvestites though actually are usually mainly one, and then they have a deformation like version of the other.
Yeah.
It's like deformed or not really all there. And then so you get your two genders, and then you have like, the sexual preference, straight or bi. Like whether you like the opposite sex or the same sex, right? But there's more to it than that. So you could have a straight male or female, right? Who identifies as male or female. So like a straight male that identifies as a male, who's a feminine character.
Right.
They call it metrosexual.
Yeah.
So like they find masculinity in feminism. So like you see like the
It's
we were
where
talking about.
I'm
this.
saying like where I get confused. It's like so you get your sexuality and then your gender and then your sex. They try to like mix it all together, and it's like trying to figure out what is right and what is wrong and what is correct. It's
Well,
like who the fuck I figured I'm like who the fuck knows at this point because there's so many different like so it's LGBTQ and then plus they just add a it's like endless and then same thing with the
yeah.
genders.
Yeah, there's a lot to it actually. Like there's even like me, like I'm a straight male who finds myself masculine, but I'll do like in traditionalism there's like male female jobs, like say in a household, the man goes to work, female watches the kids, cooks, cleans, that kind of stuff, there's like male and female skills,
Right.
you have manhood defining skills,
Like carpenter, like being a
yeah,
carpenter
being
or
a carpenter or mechanic
a
or
laborer, like
yeah.
even a fucking computer technician,
Yeah.
that's like a guy like
Yeah.
you're known it's kind of known like
Yeah.
hey guys kind of do that stuff.
Yeah,
And it's true for the most part.
yeah,
Like or like a woman will like be a therapist,
Yeah.
or they'll be a nurse,
Yeah.
or they'll be like a caregiver, stuff like
Yeah.
those kind of jobs.
yeah,
Um,
you know, cooking or, maids or like
housekeeper, or something like
service, jobs like waitressing or hostessing,
that. It's kind of a common thing,
uh,
but it's just weird how they want to put into kind of. I see it like when you have it as like non-binary, it's kind of like a gray area, like where you don't know what exactly they are. You kind of have to get them to explain,
yeah, well,
That's the way I see it. Like, I understand that like maybe some people don't want to get like put into being male and female, but
well, I was talking with your brother about this. We were talking about this. So, it's I forgot the word. It's like it's something, but it's where they as a male identify themselves per their biological standard, like internally as a female. So like it's not necessarily specifically that they're gay or that they're feminine or that they take on female roles like me. Like I've done a lot of that type of work too,
Right.
but that they feel that they were born with the wrong body parts, I guess.
yeah. I don't know. Well, what I've known and what I've read on that, like people that mentally and emotionally think that they're not the right gender. I mean, there's kind of like there's a legitimate like mental condition. They call it gender dysphoria. They actually have
yeah.
So that's actually like a proven like diagnosis for people.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
really,
not. It's not to say like
like there's something
them
wrong
having
with
a
you.
mental
It's
illness.
just like the actual
Yeah, like I don't think
neurological.
calling them that
like,
makes them less of a person, but it's like it's
like
an
there's
actual.
yeah.
It's an actual condition. Like it's
Like they actually are like their brain or
it's just wired differently.
yeah,
right?
functions. Yeah. Because
So,
male female
It's
brains
not.
are.
I
are
don't say that.
function
I don't say that
differently.
like an insult. I say that like as look. That's kind of the definition of what you're saying, but you don't want to be called that. But that is gender dysphoria. That's kind of what it is. But if you physically, like, if they biologically, like, hey, they get more hormones of the opposite sex, then that's completely different because that's not like. I mean, that's not mentally and emotionally. That's like physically.
Well, that's a different body part. It's not. That's not your brain. That's your liver. And your.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like it's kind of your brain,
and
but
your sexual body
I
parts.
feel like that's more physical because that can physically influence you more than
it's
like
more
just your
physical
brain.
than neurological. Yeah.
Because your brain influences all those chemicals being released and made in your body, but I don't know. That's pretty much all I have to say. Unless you wanted to smoke another one.
Yeah, let's smoke another one. We'll double it up.
Double up the smoke break. Fuck, dude. Chain smoke break. Huh?
Yeah. Chain smoke. So check this out though.
Well, I was gonna say, just recognize that hey, some of these people, with biological differences, being transvestite, right? Like
Yeah.
that's more legitimate to me, right, than just someone thinking, oh,
Then self-identification.
yeah, they're just identifying as like, oh, I just kind of like a desire to
Well,
be. I see it as like the people that are actually biologically in
well,
some
that's
way the opposite sex, and then someone
yeah.
just thinking that they're opposite sex.
Was a self-identification.
Yeah.
So that's really the question to ask is whether per state law to have that put on your driver's license, whether that you are actually the
Well,
other
in
gender.
California, I was gonna say in California,
Or
they're changing on their birth certificate. They're changing it on like bigger documents, not just like their driver's license or ID.
yeah.
Like it's changing it like in all the government databases.
Yeah, well, as to whether as an identification as like of your body that you are female, or as you yourself as a person is the other general internal.
Yeah.
Because that some of that falls along
I mean, I
lines
think
of
maybe I'll ask you. So the
society.
ultimate question, like, do you think gender is a choice? Because like I already know, like
No, I think
there's people that ask, is being gay a choice, and I say I don't think for the most part
I
I
think
don't
it's
think it
just
is.
something. It just kind of happens. It's just nature takes its course, and you are what you are. It's
But do you think it's the
you're kinda
same way
born
as
with.
like you choose your gender? Do you think it's like when people say, "Oh, well, you choose to be gay," but do you think like when people say, "Well, I choose to be this gender," you think that's the same, like equal?
Well,
Well, I already know, like
it's
being gay is not really a choice for the most part. I don't think it is.
it's just self-identification. I mean, there's people out there that identify as cats. There's
Yeah, I know that.
there's
Yeah,
the other thing that happened recently.
I've seen that in
the
London,
last year or
like
so.
a little documentary. I've seen that in London. People identify as like dogs and
Yeah,
cats
yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Well, the real question though is how it plays into to society and civilization is because no, I have no problem with people wanting to identify as, um, you know, whatever they are on their driver's license.
I mean, it
I
doesn't
mean,
hurt
it's not
anyone.
like exactly my greatest concern, but I mean, if they want that, they should be able to have that. But my concern is recently in the last year or so, they made all public restrooms in the Portland city metropolitan area unisex bathrooms.
Yeah,
Did you
I
hear
heard.
about that?
Yeah, I heard about the schools because it was like a transgender like
In the
kid.
schools?
Yeah, like in the schools they had to change that in Portland area, right?
Whoa.
So they made it to where like now a transgender person can use either bathroom. So that raised a lot of questions like, well, fuck, like, so how do you know if they're male, female, then they're going into the bathroom, then what? So we're trying to figure out like, well, that's why we
Well,
kind of separate the bathrooms
well,
because you don't want
I don't want to come off as abrasive, but I mean,
you don't want a guy going in a female bathroom,
well,
you know?
yeah, well, because I mean, like the other day, I'm out in Portland and I was seeing a doctor, and so I went to go use the restroom, and this is something I've had happen to me before, and I walk into the restroom, I go in there, to do my business, and as I walk up to the door, this lady walks out of the best restroom, and I'm like whoa, like
Well, the same restroom you're in.
yeah, she pops out of the restroom. I was entering, like I was about to enter it, and this lady walks out. It's like a singular usage, like
So
handicap
it was a
restroom.
unisex
It, wa-
or
it was a unisex handicap restroom. It was a single toilet like restroom.
Oh.
It freaks me out. I'm like, whoa, like I'm trying to go in the restroom, and the lady walks out as I'm like going in to do my business. I'm like, that freaks me out a little bit.
I mean, because it is a little weird. I mean, yeah, I know that there's unisex bathrooms at some places, but most places it's like man, it's like man or woman.
Yeah,
It's separated,
yeah.
and it's like that for a reason because you don't want guys to go in female
Yeah,
restrooms.
that's definitely like I feel definitely 100% positive. It's pretty simple. If you can get a girl pregnant, you belong in the male restroom. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, I
Like,
mean,
and even if you're transgender, so you're born with a dick, right? then just do whatever you got to do
I mean, if
to get to not
yeah.
having a dick, and then you can use your proper bathroom that you
yeah,
want to use.
yeah, because that's another thing too. There's transgender, where they actually have like the surgery to have their
And they'll take estrogen, like the
yeah.
or testosterone if they want to be a guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and they'll have their body parts changed.
They'll get the chemicals and the hormones, right?
Yeah.
It required. I figure, if they go that step, then
Yeah.
it's more legitimate. But with
Well,
this,
that's your actual gender that was actually physically changed. There's actually a full process.
Yeah,
to
if you're
building that out of
biologically-
your own,
yeah, I feel like if
body
you're
material.
biologically changing your sex or
Yeah.
then if you call yourself that gender,
Yeah, but like no,
You know,
like if I'm with like my
it's
nieces
very
or
complicated that way.
my my little nieces or nephews or whatever, and I'm like going in to use a public restroom, and they got to use the restroom. You know what I mean? I don't want, the thing you got to think about the little ones. Like if I were to have a daughter or whatever too. Like I wouldn't want her to have to use the same restroom as some dude. With his backdraft. He's got his his
or he's like trying to
Yeah.
become a girl, but he's not yet, or whatever.
yeah, or
If you don't know, then it's like
Yeah,
you're trying to
it's
figure out, and then we're creating like this environment where
It's
you
like-
can't even
like
call
rest-
out. You can't even.
There's some. You ever walk in a restroom and see like how dirty it is, and then you get like the dirty restroom with both genders in a public setting. It's this disgusting. And per like the
It's
culture
weird.
too. It's gross.
It's weird because we kind of separate the bathrooms, and then
For
now
that
it's all
reason,
gonna be
it's
mixed.
like our bodily.
Yeah, it's gonna
fluids
be
where-
mixed
Yeah.
like now.
Yeah,
'Cause
now
you-
where it's like
a lot
now if I want to go into Portland to use a restroom, I'm forced to share a restroom with bodily fluids and stuff and all that, like in the restroom with the opposite gender. It's like forced sex almost.
well, I don't know about sex, but like
But it's like it's
in that
it's-
environment, because
Yeah, it's
some
like-
girls have periods and stuff. But I'm
Yeah.
not saying that but some might not clean up everything.
mean,
you might be some
yeah.
fucking blood in the toilet. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I've cleaned bathrooms.
Yeah, I mean, I was a janitor. I've cleaned restrooms.
So
Sometimes it's nasty. You get like the shit stains on the toilet or the blood. The blood dripping off the bottom of the toilet seat.
yeah.
It's-
But
yeah.
well, like in Portland, you call somebody out like that you're not sure if they're a guy or girl or trans, and then they'll go in the same bathroom as you, and you might think that they're a girl or whatever.
Yeah.
You'll call them out, and then you'll be the bad guy, but you're
Yeah.
just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, but like, what if I wanted to use a restroom? I mean, I'm a big guy, but not everybody's as big as me. What if there's some stalker dude dressed like cross-dresser hiding in the restroom waiting for you? You know what I mean? Nobody'd even know.
And the cross dressers too. That
He's
kind of
just
goes
another
in the
girl
mix.
walking in the yeah.
It's like you don't even know at that point if they're.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like it's a complicated thing.
Yeah.
And now
They
it's-
shouldn't mess with things like that. It's not.
It's weird, fucking touchy thing, and then they're just they're
It's
like
like
making
one of-
it all like, here you go, you just put non-binary, and then
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can just figure.
It's like one of those
figure
things.
it all out.
It's been one way for thousands of years. With reasoning behind that. And
well, not
some-
thousands, but
Somebody
like,
comes in
yeah.
with a complaint, puts it in the box, and now they've changed civilization itself. I mean,
I know.
yeah,
It's like you get enough petitions, and there you go. Like there's that
Like-
extra option.
like when I was
Yeah.
in the army. I mean, they let females open into any combat MOS. Now, like they did the same thing. It's like now. So there you have both males and females in a unit together, working in combative scenarios. So when you have that mixture, you have the emotional and psychological attachment to them as just their gender alone. I mean,
Yeah.
you
It's
the
so
army
complicated because when you're just
Yeah.
working with guys, it's a little different
yeah, I
than when
mean,
you mix
yeah,
girls, guys, or whoever else.
yeah, and
I guess.
I mean,
'cause
what
apparently
if-
there's more than
what
that
if what
gender.
if what if somebody
genders.
what if somebody captured one of the females? I mean, what could happen to that female? I mean, you could lose
Or if
your
you
whole
get
unit,
shot,
your
like
whole,
you
yeah.
get shot, and you're expecting a female to pick you up the same as
Well, no. I mean, Don't get me
I'm
wrong.
not saying that you wouldn't, but in the same exact way as like your bigger fellow, like best friend or something.
Well, don't get me wrong. Most people are probably not going to be able to pick me up. But as far as I've always understood it, is that that there's always been females in the army, yes, and females do have a right to service too. But only females I ever knew that got in was there because they were harder than they took their spot on the team. I mean, I was in there, and you got 16, 17. 18-year-old girls mostly, 19-year-old girls, and weigh 100 pounds to nothing, and it's like, what happens to that female?
I mean, because there's physical differences. It's not
we could lose soldiers, who go out of their lines to go rescue, be the Blue Falcon and rescue a female that would have normally just died in combat. What if the female gets shot? And a guy goes.
You might
haywire.
even be more inclined to go save her or something too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something like that.
And the victimization, like, the rape cases and all that. You're now putting them in the mix of that, where it's already happening. It's always happened amongst the guys alone. I mean, and now and
when you're in the military, it's not easy to get.
It's like gang rape, and it's like having transgender or not transgender mixed dorm room jails. They don't do that for a reason,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just would be chaos.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's a little different for jail because they're criminals. They would be more inclined to do that.
Well,
it's
the same thing when you're a combat soldier warrior. You're in your feral state. You're hunting, killing, bad guys. You're out
sometimes
there,
sometimes you'll feel like when if you're at war,
amped up, and
there's nothing to lose. Sometimes,
yeah.
So you will,
And
sometimes
you have everything. All the nasty stuff they had in the Vietnam, Korean War eras. When they were drafting drug addicts. War is an ugly thing, and you throw females in the mix. It's like why would you want your children to be there? The equal opportunity is a real thing. Everybody has equal rights, but there's a reason why the bathrooms are not mixed gendered. There's a reason why there's only one gender in the military. There's a reason why that.
Yeah.
We keep ourselves separate. To a certain degree. Within reason.
There's different physical standards for females and stuff because it's just on average. I'm not saying all females are weaker, but
I'd expect
some that the females that make it through are fucking pretty badass, but it's like
some of them, yeah. But I'd expect someone regardless, to make the grade, of their gender, but yeah,
I don't know.
It's all bad.
Well, I guess we'll conclude here. Smoke break, fucking 2-6.
Spooky stories.
Spooky stories coming up. Spooky stories, motherfucker. Alright.